Good Monday morning, everybody. You're watching the Kaiser Report. Welcome back. And John, I'm coming to you with a few things about what took place this weekend in the news and around the area. And hopefully you got to tune into the weekend update, which we gave you a tour of Tazewell, Virginia, and some of the surrounding area there. We had a wonderful time, a wonderful meal, and the scenery on the drive through Southwest Virginia was breathtaking, with all of the red buds in bloom and the dogwoods and the colors, and the mountains were beautiful. It was a severe, clear day, but very windy, and which curtailed some of our filming because of the wind. But we did manage to get you a pretty good view, and if you missed it, go ahead and find it on YouTube, and it's there, and you can take a look at it today. So while we were out having fun over the weekend, there was a lot of tension going on both in our country and around the world with regard to what's taking place with Iran and Israel, and none of it is any good. The drone attacks, as you could see what mainstream media showed you in film, and several of the other outlets had let film out, was not a good situation if you were there watching this stuff rain down on you. The good part of it was that the Iron Dome prevented a lot of loss and destruction because it did help get them shot down. Anyway, we have a government here that wants to get involved in this skirmish, which I don't believe is a correct thing to do. We do not need another war in this country, and we certainly do not need another front opened up, because we don't have the ability to handle what we've started in the Ukraine. And now, against the Houthi rebels, they can't even take out the Houthi rebels and stop them or negotiate with them to stop firing at our ships and the merchant ships, which most of the world relies on getting goods out of those straits there. And it's not a good situation for us to be looking at getting into a war. We don't want our children slaughtered for nothing. And this has not been a good situation for anyone in any war other than the war machine that makes money on war. And this is what's being driven by this administration, because they're stock and barrel owned by the munition manufacturers, the airplane manufacturers, the war machine manufacturers, and the pharmaceutical companies. So they kowtow to them while we lose our children. And it's not a good situation for us to be in. We don't need war. We need someone with the ability to negotiate a peaceful settlement both in the Mideast and the Ukraine, and to push, as they are right now, if you listen to the cabinet members that are touting, we're going to get NATO into the Ukraine. This is what is triggering all of the problems. And if we have someone with enough gumption to sit down with the people in charge and come to an agreement that NATO will not be part of the Ukraine. Ukraine has already lost this war. They're putting children in uniforms. I mean, it smacks of the end of World War II when Hitler did this. I've said this many times. But for a Tennessee congressperson to come out and say we need to go to war with Iran, that is senseless. This is not what we need to do. We need to pray every day to God to help a peaceful settlement here. Not throw gasoline on an already burning fire. But it caused a lot of anxiety in this country, which is what this administration wants. They want division. They want you to be anxious. They want you to pay through the nose for food that is no good for you. They want to cancel farming. They want to cancel your thoughts. And they want to keep us divided by whatever it is, race, religion, or whatever else they can come up with in their playbook of destruction of the middle class and a nation that is a republic with a constitution that they don't like. It doesn't suit them. You're looking at a uniparty here. You may think that the Democrats are fighting with the Republicans, and the Republicans are fighting with the Democrats. Just look at this last FISA bill business that happened Friday. Come on. It was Patera from Appalachian Homestead said this morning, they're two wings of the same bird. She's absolutely right. But we don't need a war to survive here. Not to mention the fact that we've already let in 10 to 12 million people, and some are here for reasons. If a war does break out, they're already in place to do what they are trained to do. I tell you this all the time. I tell you to get prepared. I tell you to wake up and realize that this is all around you now. And if you're living in a major city, you've already seen the destruction and the lawlessness that comes along with the chaos that this administration wants to have up into and after this election. Donald Trump today is in a court defending himself against, one more time, against a kangaroo court brought on just to stop him. They're scared of Donald Trump. They're scared of Robert Kennedy Jr. There's a reason. They don't want you to know what's going on behind that curtain. They don't want you to know who's pulling the strings of Joe Biden. And they certainly don't want you to know the secret deals that they've got going on in the basement, in your Congress, in your Senate, and why they won't impeach Mayorkas, who has been dead to rights, a candidate for impeachment. They want to continue the influx of the bad people in this country, and the good people that are coming through as a result of the open border will be their new slaves. You have to see this happening. They want a war. They'll send our sons and daughters there to be slaughtered because we have replacements in place for our oligarchs to make more money. It isn't going to go to you or me or the middle class. And you need to realize that. Donald Trump today is facing a deep blue jury pool in New York. And this hush money case is well past, and everyone knows it's well past the statute of limitations on this thing, but yet they're finding loopholes to keep him tied up and off the campaign trail. Break him of money so he can't campaign. That was what this whole thing is about. This is what Letitia James is about. This is what Fannie Willis is about. You know it. You see it. You're being lied to by mainstream media. Just look at the cover-ups that they take care of their own people with, people who have been to the White House and celebrated as great celebrities. What's the last time you heard anything about P. Diddy? That was a big news cycle, and all of a sudden, boop, nothing. Why? Because it didn't fit their narrative. What fits their narrative right now is how can we get rid of RFK Jr. and Donald J. Trump. That's what's in their narrative. And that's what the news is going to report to you. All of the bad stuff. And tell you while you're going along that the stock market is doing wonderful. And everybody's making money. And the job numbers are really up. They're not. There's layoffs happening as we speak in several major companies. Unemployment may not being reported properly, and we know that they revise numbers from time to time. After they give you the good news, then the bad news creeps out. But it creeps out under the cover of media covering it up. We need to wise up and really pay attention to what's really going on. And we need to be prepared. And I don't mean next month or the month after that. You need to start preparing now. Because if you go to Big Lots, if you go to a grocery store, if you go to the dollar stores now, everything has crept up in the last week by maybe 12 to 13% increase in prices of what you used to buy there. It hasn't changed. Some of that stock is still on the shelf from 2 months ago. But the prices are increasing. The shelves have a little bit less every time you go. If you go, just take vinegar. Always had a good stock of vinegar at Big Lots. We buy it there. The shelf is empty yesterday. The prices are up 12, 14, and 15% in some cases on dry goods. In the supermarket, meat prices are through the roof. And all the unhealthy foods that are on the shelf are not good for you. It's sickening a population of people. This is what they want. They have your replacement in already to take your place. 11 million of them came through the border, and there's a reason for that. And did we get bad people along with the people that are coming as your replacement? You better believe you did. Do we need to be in anybody else's war? Absolutely not. Do we need to give one more penny to the Ukraine? Absolutely not. It's a money laundering institution that is not doing the world any good in any fashion. Israel should be allowed to do what they have to do to protect their own country. But we shouldn't be there. We should not be involved. We can back them and help them with suggestions, with money, with weapons. We can sell them weapons. But we should not put another boot on the ground in any foreign country to fight some war like we did during the Bush administration when this all started. There was no reason for us to be in Iraq. We got fooled, we were lied to, and we ended up with a result of a lot of people walking around this country right now with PTSD and suffering every day. Do you want your children to end up that way? I don't. So we have to step up to the plate as people, and we have to voice our opinions to the idiots that are sitting in the seats of power that will cause this to happen if we let them have their own way. Speak up, speak out, speak often, and prepare yourself for the worst. Because they're coming. It's coming. We're going to have an attack in this country before too long. And they're going to do everything they can to aid and abet it because they want us into another war. The world leaders are calling for restraint on Israel's war cabinet, and they consider a response to Iran's attack. That's their business. That's not our business. The FBI agents boarded a cargo ship that caused the Baltimore Bridge collapse. We'll see what we hear any more about that, but that kind of failed off the news cycle too. Soon as it came out that it was a possible cyber attack or had something to do with a cyber attack, all of a sudden the news goes silent. There's a reason for that, because as I said all along, the news outlets, legacy media, is given on a daily basis what they can and can't say. If you haven't figured that out yet, you need to. And if you haven't figured out how to prepare for your foodstuffs, tune into Appalachian Homestead. Tune into there's a myriad of channels on YouTube alone that will teach you how to grow a garden, how to care for growing your garden, how to raise livestock, and do the things that you need to be self-sufficient. If you're living in inner cities and can't do this, there are places that you can get raised bed gardens or potted gardens and get some stuff in to protect you and your family and feed yourself non-processed, non-fooled with, non-GMO food. Because the stuff you're buying right now that is processed is killing you. The pharmaceutical companies are not helping you by sending you to your doctor to say, the TV said I should ask you for this. When did the days of a doctor deciding what his patient needed for health care, when did that go away? When did pharmaceutical companies get the idea that they can have you tell a doctor what they can and can't take or prescribe? We're in a sad state of affairs right now, and unfortunately, the only thing that's going to get us out of this is to start looking at America first and pray to Jesus and the Father for help in fixing the problems that we are experiencing now. Because the demons are on the loose in this country right now. And if you listen hard enough, you'll realize they're telling you this. They no longer hide their agendas. They come right out now and tell you what they're up to. And we have been asleep, and we have been ignoring this, and we cannot continue to ignore it. Today is slightly overcast here, but the sun should be out shortly, and we're looking to enjoy some warm weather this week. And yesterday, I actually got out and got quite a bit of our mowing done through pastures and at the house. And it was an enjoyable day. I got probably a little bit too much sun yesterday. I didn't realize the sun was as strong as it was, but got a little sunburn. But I feel great, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful rest of the spring and a good summer. And hopefully, if our government stops putting out the anxiety pills on a daily basis through mainstream media, we'll all start to experiencing a great summer. Travel is down, the economy is down, And in case you haven't noticed, restaurants are off. The owners are talking about they, number one, still can't get help, and number two, the price of their goods has gone up and they have to pass it on to their customers. And the people who are going out to eat seem to be tipping less and not ordering alcohol because of the expense. So the economy is not better, and they can lie through Biden and Kareem Jean-Pierre all they want about how great the economy is, but Bidenomics is just another Joe Biden failure. This administration, I tell you this all the time, is beyond the clown show. It's almost an active carnival. Listen to them. Listen to Kirby come out and tell you all about lie after lie after lie. Listen to Kareem Jean-Pierre, lie after lie after lie. And when they're called on it, they walk off the podium and don't answer any more questions. These things should tell you something. Those people are living in a fantasy world, but they have a plan to make us all live in their fantasy world and forget about what life in the United States used to mean to most of us and most of our families. I'm so happy I grew up in the times that I did and the schools that I went to, because our children can no longer have that privilege. And I know this negativity that comes out of not only my channel, but other channels, is a warning to you to wake up and listen to what's really being said, read between the lines, look past the curtain where they're all hiding behind with their plans to take over and fundamentally change this country, which is what Obama said he was going to do. And this is a continuation of Obama's plan. And if you can't see that, then I strongly suggest that you visit an eye doctor soon. It's in your face now. They no longer hide it. The Muslim population, they're hell-bent on, in other countries as well as starting here, in getting a larger percentage into the voting population. They've already infiltrated our Congress. And it's not going to be good for the way of life that this country was founded on, which is a Judeo-Christian way of life. And if we don't go back to prayer soon, as a country, we're going to lose the country. Enough said on any of that. I wish you all a great, happy Monday. We'll be back to you tomorrow. If something breaks between now and then, I don't want to, stay tuned to the Trump trial today. I think that's, when they get through with Wadir, trying to find somebody that is not a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat on that jury, it would be a surprise to me. But let them have their day of mocking Trump, and we'll see where it goes. But I still am waiting to find out who the shadow candidate to replace Biden is going to be. And someone told me just as recently as Saturday that they expect it to be Hillary. Oh, one more time. But the Clintons are very involved with Obama in pushing Joe through the ropes here, with hope that he can hold it together that long. And I'd love to know what the cocktail was they gave him to get through the state of confusion address that he gave. But He certainly isn't like that on a daily basis. And then answer me one question, and I welcome your comments all the time. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. But how do you go for a weekend to the beach when looming was the threat from Iran that within 72 hours they were going to rain missiles down on Israel? And he goes to the beach, but he was good enough to come back and sit down and discuss it on Sunday. It's incredible what's right before our very eyes that we don't see. It's just very hard to believe anymore. But anyway, I wish you all a great day. Looking forward to the next road trip that Kaiser and I will bring to you. But if you get chance and you haven't seen yesterday's, go ahead and tune it in. And we'll see you probably tomorrow with another Kaiser Report. And hopefully we'll have some fun new things to talk about real soon. And don't forget, we're going to come up with the Batman analogy in our government. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.